गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेद वेदान्त वेदान्त विद्यास्थानेभ्य एव च सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम. We have to chant 10th mantra. Tadetadricha abhyuktam kriyavanta shrotriya brahmanishta स्वयं जुह्वते कर्षिं श्रद्धयन्तः तेषामेवैतां ब्रह्मनिष्ठां ब्रह्मविद्याम् तेषामेवैतां ब्रह्मविद्याम् वदेत् शिरोव्रतं विधिवद्यैस्तु चीर्णम् तदेतत् सत्यम् ऋषिरङ्गिराः पुरोवाच नैतद् अचीर्णव्रतः अधीते नमः परं ऋषिभ्यः नमः परं ऋषिभ्यः इति तृतीयमुण्डके द्वितीयखण्डः। इति मुण्डकोपनिषत् समाप्ता। हरि ओम तत्सत. So we are towards the end of this Upanishad, and this teaching got over in the 9th mantra of the last section, last Mundaka. So in the 10th mantra, I had told yesterday that the Sampradan was mentioned. Vidya Sampradanam. How to give to rules of taking the teaching and giving the teaching. And who is the one who should be given the teaching? So he had 4 qualifications. One is Shrotriya, one should be interested in listening. Second is Kriyavanta, matured Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga who has done. Third is who has done Havan in his life of his Ahankar. And fourth is who is established in Sagun Vidya, Upper Vidya Upasana, Brahmanistha, which I explained yesterday. These were the 4 requisites for the one who wants to have this knowledge. Then it was said that Tesham ev etam Brahma Vidyam vadeta. One should tell Brahma Vidya to such people only who have done Shirovrat. Shirovrat is taking the pot on the head, indicating the giving up of the Ahankar in short. I had seen this mantra yesterday. In short, Bhashikar writes, Patra Bhutanam etam Brahma Vidyam vadeta. If something is given to the non-deserving, the hard work of the teacher will go in vain. Because like on the field you throw the seed to germinate, but if the mud is not good or the rock is there a lot, the seed will not germinate. It will be just throwing it and wasting the seed. Similarly, if the student is not very prepared and in over-excitement and over-enthusiasm, teacher may teach something. So what will happen? The same time he could have invested somewhere and a student also could have done something better because he is not fit. His mind is more extrovert, his mind is more chanchal. So he will not be able to assimilate anything. And therefore much of the time goes in Kriyavantah Karmyogi Bhutva, in changing the habit, our attitude and our bhav towards Virat, Hiranyagarbha and Ishwar. Connecting with this Vishwa with Virat, Tejas with Hiranyagarbha and Pragya with Ishwar is called Brahmanishtahaya. So my gross body and cosmic gross body are acting as a part and whole. I am not a separate entity. So this was just a sampradhan. And to the student also it is said, when you want to have a knowledge, please try to make yourself a better recipient. Because phal will come only when the man has that vairagya and that shama, dama, etc. To that extent, the student will contemplate well, and that contemplation will give the result of Brahma Vidya. Otherwise, I have seen most of the students who read or study Vedanta, they don't give time to themselves to purify the mind. They are more attentive in understanding the concepts. understanding or talking becomes the priority of the Vedantic students. Rather than assimilating and getting out of ignorance, so they want to understand so that they can talk well. So Vedanta gives them one avenue to talk or to understand this intellectual joy of understanding. And ultimately what happens, somebody asks Surya Baba if somebody understands Vedanta, but his mind is not pure, what will happen? He said he will become missionary. He will become one who spreads the knowledge only by himself. So please don't become that Vedanti who just keeps the knowledge in the head or to explain to others. If it has really sunk inside or I try to assimilate, then first thing is my definition about me will change and I will not be acting as aham vritti. I will be acting as vrittihinam. So from reflected consciousness, I will act as the main consciousness which does not change. And this main consciousness will not experience joy and sorrow in me. It will experience in mind. The distance between mind, more a distance you can make between mind and I, more you have evolved in Vedanta. The closeness of my mind and aham, I, is called fall of a person or not growing in Vedanta. Mind and I should be at distance with each other. Both are unrelated. More you can differentiate between original consciousness and RC. RC and OC difference is called your sadhana. Jeev Chaitanya and Paramatma Chaitanya both should be distinctly seen, as I see the paper here and a cloth here distinctly. I have no confusion that paper is cloth. Okay. And if this is done, it is very good. Otherwise, don't allow it to be only at the level of understanding. Understanding should percolate at non-wavering understanding at all time. Now he concludes 11th verse, BC. Tadetat satyam rishi angira. So rishi angira, angiras is the word, therefore angira is singular. Like Chandramaha. Chandramas is the pratipadik. Chandramas has become Chandramaha, Chandramasau, Chandramasa. So don't think there are many angiras are there. No plural is there, many angiras there. It is rishi angiraha. Tad etad satyam pura uvacha. He told this satyam. Pura means in the past. Acha. What he says, achirna vrata. See, achirna vrata. Again the word has come, achirna vrata. That means achirna vrata means who has not gone through the process of self-surrender or subtle and sensitizing the mind. Surrender of the ego is done by Karma Yoga. And sensitizing the mind to God is done by Upasana Yoga. Upasana is constantly sensitizing to do something. You become sensitive to something. Supposing you don't take sugar at all and somebody puts little sugar in the then immediately you will notice it that see. So you put sugar? No. Little only. Not put sugar, little only. Sometime in the tomato soup, not here but outside. Already instructions are written now, but nobody reads anything. The typical thing people have. They ask diet chart, but they don't read anything. They put sugar in the tomato soup. First sip आते हम कह गया ये बेकार हो गया. एक कप टोमेटो सूप लेना और भी गड़बड़ कर दिया इन्होंने. Sugar is put. What to say now? Then you say sugar is put. नहीं. No, I feel sugar is there. Very little. हाफ स्पून. बहुत ही सेंसिटिव हमारा माइंड शुगर को लेके या सॉल्ट को लेके. हाँ, सॉल्ट ऑल्सो लिटिल इफ यू पुट माइंड विल कैच सॉल्ट इज देयर. Govind does that. Little salt he puts in spinach soup. How many times has said not to put? Moment I have the first sip, I can make it out. It's there. Little, even if one drop you put, this is called sensitizing the mind. इन्होंने बोला होगा. हाँ, देखो. I said not to put zero salt. So immediately you get it. देखो salt डाल दिया इसने. Sensitizing means, sensitizing to Paramatma means that I am before becoming one with God, relation with that I am of the God, that should be more important than I am the God. Before making Karmdhare Samas, make Tatpurush Samas. Shashti Tatpurush. I am of the God. And constantly being sensitive to that my God is there and I don't need anybody. So this bhav will take your attention away from the world. So Karma Yoga dilutes the ego and attachment. Rag, Dvesh, ego is the attacking area of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means the mental obsessions about the world has been tackled. With somebody, with some work, I don't like this. Very strong obsessions are there. I cannot do this. I want to live with him. I cannot live without him. It's my importance is there. I cannot tolerate. So you try to soften and mellow down the reactive personality and attracting personality. Not attractive, attracting personality and reacting personality in you. With anybody, with any work, with any person, with any work, with any issue, the reaction that you are giving or you are very attracting that thing. I like that work a lot, that is my main thing. You try to unwind yourself. So thoughts is trying to free yourself from the worldly thoughts. So Karma Yoga is that. So if you don't do Karma Yoga, Aham becomes stronger and stronger by doing this. I did this for you, I did not do this, I don't like you, I cannot talk to you, I want to be with you. So somewhere there is a very anti-God personality, anti-Virat personality, anti-Moksha personality. And Upasana makes you little inside, takes your mind inside. For long hour you can close your eyes. And closing your eyes you can think of your mantra, your God. So what was the scattered thought that is dealt by Upasana and strong individuality that is dealt by Karma Yoga. And both of this is called Chirna Vrata. In short, Representation of that is taking the mundak, the pot on the head with the fire in it. Yesterday I gave the example of the Dichi Rishi who cut his head. The Dichi Rishi, you had not come yesterday, no? You were here. Achha, achha. But I had mentioned the Dichi Rishi. Horse's mouth, which I was telling. Huh? Huh? No. So, Rishihi Angiraha Tadetad Satyam Pura Vacha. Karmyog, how you do Karmyog? By again and again mentally asserting that whatever will be asked, I will do. It is bhavana abhyas mainly, attitudinal practice, not actions practice. Wherever God keeps, I will accept. Whatever condition, wherever God keeps, whatever work comes, with whomsoever I have to live, I don't like to live with these people, or I like to live with these people, but still I have no insistence. It is a mental training to yourself, by yourself. Whatever comes to eat, I will eat. Whatever is said, if somebody bad is said, I'll tolerate it. I'll reduce my time of reaction. I'll reduce my time of excitement. It's a constant training to yourself. And I think it's very difficult to do Karma Yoga. As frequently people use it, that I'm doing Karma Yoga, it is not Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is very tough area because you have to deal with your ego, which does not like to be dealt. Sometimes upasana is easy because you sit and you can think on God, but working with 100 kind of people around and still remaining calm is no joke. And Karma Yoga needs a field where you go out and your ego will be bruised at times. What you want won't be done. And if you talk badly, people will reject you. People will have their own way to punish if I am not okay. I will be left aside, I will be left in the solitude, and there will be talk about me later on. That this person, I gave this work, he did like this, or he reacted like this, or he has become too close to that person. Anywhere you will be under observation and fire. Anyway, so how will this person is a fit student of Vedanta when he is not able to leave his strong enjoyership? Then how can he become seer of all? It's a joke. It's a joke. People, in Vedanta, in our courses, they straight away dash and study Vedanta, dash. So they have a ahankar of understanding more, and they understand that. Many understand what is Chidavas, what is Atma, what is this, that. But because they have not gone through processes, their reactive personality or their non-accepting personality of the situation, that remains as such sometime for long life. And therefore it is said here, Etad achiranavarta adhita na. So this knowledge should not be given to the one who is not having achiranavarta. Param nama param rishibhya, because nama goes with chaturthi vibhakti, fourth case, and therefore rishibhya is the fourth case. Plural, bahuvachan, tat chaturthi bahuvachan. So param rishibhya, there is Paramarshi, there is Devarshi, there is Maharshi, there is Rajarshi, there is Kandarshi, there is Shrutarshi, there is Brahmarshi. There are 7 kind of Rishi are there. Well, I did not write. Param Rishi is there, Paramarshi, Devarshi, Maharshi, Rajarshi, Kandarshi, Shrutarshi, and Brahmarshi, depending on various things. Will you explain all of them? This is not my topic. Obviously, later on you can just jot down somewhere. So So this is mentioned to Param Rishibhya. All parampara is offered namaskar, and twice is given just to indicate this Upanishad is completed here. Because earlier Upanishad was taught by Shruti, by only, there was no books there. So when the teacher said Nama Param Rishibhya, Nama Param Rishibhya, that means the student understood that Upanishad is over here. So therefore twice was mentioned just to indicate completion of the text. In many places you must have seen, they are repeating it. So there was no paper and pen culture developed at that time. So they had to by heart the whole Upanishad. And they were listening also. How Shankaracharya, they used to reproduce the Bhashya, prostrations to the disciple who were around him. I think many things they say he was speaking and somebody was writing somewhere on the leaf or something. There were no pen, there were leaf. Bhoj Patra was there. This special kind of pen was there, not that our sophisticated pens are there. The pens were made by the wood and all these things at that time. Certain leaf was also used as a pen, a feather was also used as a pen, and they used to write it like that. So we offered namaskar to all those rishis. This Bhash itself is 1400-year-old, 1400 years to maintain it, and it is coming in its pure form to us without any contamination. So we have to express our gratitude to all the great saints and scholars and all the people who could sustain it either in their mind and kept it for us, and ultimately in a book form it is available for us today. So we can read it and dwell upon it as if the food is well prepared and put in the plate and served to us. You don't have to cook anything and put in front of you. Just you have to eat it. Okay. So this completes our Mundaka Upanishad. Thank you so much. But Mundaka Upanishad now we will revise. Have a quick recap of all the three Mundaka Upanishad, three Mundaks of the Mundaka Upanishad. I'll go through a cursory glance, at a glance, so that we are clear what is the text matter in this Mundaka Upanishad. So you can understand what subject it had gone through. This Mundaka Upanishad we took in, I don't know how many classes have been taken. 30? 58? Okay, so 58 is there, you can see later on. Details you can go later on. I am just going to pinpoint the main salient feature. In that many things will not be said. What I said in 58 class, I'll try to complete in half an hour. If I miss it, I can do it tomorrow. Mundaka Upanishad is from Atharva Veda. Mundak means head. It is the head Upanishad. That means it is one of the primary Upanishad. Of 10 Upanishad, Shankaracharya Bhagavan had written Bhashya, and it is among that 10. It has 3 Mundak is there. There are 3 Mundak. 3 Mundak is there. 3 Mund, one which goes in all Jagrit, Swapna and Sushupti. That Brahman, and Ka means Sukh. The Sukh of that Brahman is mentioned in this Upanishad, and therefore it is called Mundak. Also because the head was shaven of the sannyasis, because of the Chirana Vrat, therefore this Mundaka Upanishad is called Mundak. Let me go, there are 3 Mundak, I think there are 65 mantras. So, 67, 65. And in these 3 Mundak, each Mundak has 2 sections, Pratham Khanda and Dvitiya Khanda. So I will refer to 1.1. 1.1 means first Mundak, first section. 1.2 means first Mundak, second section. Okay? So let me go ahead. So in the first Mundak, and first section, there are 2-3 things which are to be kept in mind. First thing, it was Guru Shishya Parampara was mentioned. Brahma Devanam Prathama Sambhava. Around 5 gurus were mentioned up to Angiras. And Angiras gave this knowledge to Shaunakji. So it is not some knowledge which is coming from some person, it is coming from very authentic sources. Brahmaji's knowledge, the highest knowledge is there. The glory of knowledge is mentioned, glory of Brahma Vidya. It is not something which can be taken lightly, and you cannot doubt on that knowledge. Such people have read the same knowledge. That means, sometimes they say he also studied in the same university. Subhash Chandra Bose studied in this university. I went to Calcutta, so they said Subhash Chandra Bose studied in this university. So it gets more authenticity. So, first thing is Guru Shishya Parampara. Nowadays, question is, I discovered, there is no point in discovering. Knowledge should be from some, it is Apaurusheya Gyan is there. Apaurusheya Gyan means in which there are 4 faults are not there. Brahm, Pramad, Vipralipsa and Karnapato. These 4 faults are always there when any man will say something. If any human being says something, so something no human being can know everything. That is Karnapato will be there. Second fallacy of human being is that he can be inclined towards certain thing. That is called Vipralipsa. He has his own ideas, he can push his ideas. Third thing is that he may forget by, that is called Brahm. And Pramad, by inadvertence, something can happen. Only the knowledge which is free from these 4 factors is called Apaurusheya Gyan. Not from any human limited mind, not from any devata. God is the one who keeps this knowledge in Pralaya, and He releases this knowledge, manifests, He didn't make it. It was not made knowledge. And therefore Vedas are the authority. Main authorities in Hindu Dharma is Vedas. And not the Puranas, and not the Utihas, and not the Gita, etc. The one is called Upajivya Pramana, and it's called Upajivi Pramana. One is dependent, and one is on which it was dependent. So, I hope you are understanding this was said. This was first point. So, we should see the Upanishad not as a book, but with a Pramana Buddhi. Like you see the eyes, not that eyes are some instrument, but it is a proof for knowledge of forms. So proof for knowledge of Dharma and Brahman is Vedas. And therefore such a Guru Parampara is mentioned, where the first Guru was Brahmaji himself, who himself is omniscient as far as the Karmapal is concerned. Imagine the mind of one who knows all fruits of action of all jiva of this kalp, and he is alive for how many years you calculate. 1 day of Brahmaji is 1,000 multiplied by 1 Chaturyugi. 1 Chaturyugi is 43,100,000 into 1,000 is 1 day. If somebody like Brahmaji is teaching that knowledge, how important that knowledge will be. One whose age is millions of years, he has seen all the world, all the jivas. He has seen what will give you final peace. He has known. So I think his experience we have to validate and trust on him. And therefore Brahma Devanam Prathama Sambhava Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta, etc. etc. So this is the first thing. And Angiras is the teacher. इतने बड़े भगवान ने ये for Brahma Bhagwan word also comes. This was the first point. Second point in the 1.1 is Shaunakji approaches Angiras and he asks this question that knowing which everything else is known. Knowing which everything else is known. This question is asked by Shaunakji because he had heard somewhere or thought by himself. And then I had mentioned the cause, which world should have a cause. Number 2, that cause should be unchanging. Number 3, cause should not have a shape. Number 4, cause should be consciousness. Number 5, cause should be one. I hope you remember that. So cause, unchanging, shapeless, consciousness, one. You can see your notes, I have mentioned all these things. And about that, then Angiras said, Bhai dekho Shaunak, good you came from all the way, hope you had tea, coffee. But there should be two knowledges which should be known, Paravidya and Aparavidya. And what is Aparavidya? Aparavidya is that where knowledge will be complete only when there is an action preceded by that. Where knowing is not being. Where knowing will not help you. I know how to cook, but I never cook. It won't happen. Or I know how to drive, but I don't drive. Then your not driving is totally useless. You have wasted your time. Okay, go and learn lesson. Take lessons also. I know how to, stitch, but I never stitch. So, Aparavidya is that where knowledge is with doer done. There is a trio. Paravidya is that where knowing is being, what you know that you are. And it is said both should be known, Apara should be known. Why? I gave you all the reasons for that. Apara should be known for dispassion. And Apara should be known for preparation. Refinement and preparation of mind is done by Aparavidya. Paravidya doesn't refine the mind. The refinement and preparation and purification is done by Aparavidya. Paravidya is that which only illuminates. So if somebody has not gone through Aparavidya, so Paravidya will become difficult for him. So Paravidya without Aparavidya is almost impossible. Aparavidya without Paravidya is incomplete. So that is also required. After that, third point was mentioned in the first khand, how the world is nothing but the superimposition in the self only. And therefore, 3 examples were given of the spider example, man example, and the tree example to tell the abhinna nimitt upadan karan. If the cause is unchanging, effect will not be different than the cause. This principle was there. So these 3 points, Guru Shishya Parampara, Parayana Paravidya, and whole world is nothing but the consciousness. This 3 point is mentioned in 1.1. And in this, the important verses, if you want to know, it is important verses is number 4, number 6, and 9. These are the important verses which you need to remember if you want. If you don't want, don't worry. But better to by heart some mantras, especially those who are young. Young means under 50. Huh? Am I young? Vivekji was there. He told. Sierra was there and Kriti was there. He said, both the young ladies have signed. Both the young ladies take care of me. I have no comments. Gentlemen speak like that. Acha, no doubt. So you should definitely by heart. The second khand, 1.2. I hope you will not misinterpret. 1.2. 1.2 is the expansion of that mantra that the whole world is superimposed in me. And 1.2 is expansion of aparavidya. Sorry, I went 2.1, I went. What is the aparavidya? Tadetat satyam, where karm phalam is there, that is aparavidya. I told you, with aparavidya, the havan was mentioned, the yaggi, agnihotra and all these things were mentioned in this aparavidya. So that you can get out of your laziness, you can get out of the past sense, you can get more opportunity, you can please the gods who were not pleased, past birth sins can be mitigated, and you can become a more refined person. This was mentioned. Second thing what was mentioned was the vairagya aspect. That paravidya, one should cross aparavidya and come to paravidya. And therefore, the same mantra started censoring these karma also, giving the word as plava. Plava means the raft. To cross the ocean, you need a very big ship. That also is sometimes dangerous. The winds are so heavy. The small raft made out of mere wood cannot be used to cross the ocean. Similarly, plava yeta adrana yagyarupa, he said this cross the ocean, this is a plava, this raft, wooden raft, won't help at all. And your good actions are good as long as your punya is there, but you have to grow above that. That means try to see that apart from the good action, there is something more also. And then second point in this is dispassion. And dispassion shlok was parikshalokan karmachitan brahmana nirvedam ayat. A person, he thinks that what I want is akrit. Akrit means that joy which is not made. That means it is not in particular space, particular time and particular event. I don't want eventual joy. Because anything eventual will be lost. That joy should be one with me, whether I am here or there, whether I am with this or that. And that joy should not be without any action. Because if action gives me joy, every time I have to act to get that joy. And this demand which is of the person seeker, he recognizes. The moment you recognize your real demand, you become a seeker. And my demand is, I want a joy which is irrespective of any cause. I want a causeless and effectless joy. And causeless and effectless is only self. Self doesn't have a cause and self doesn't have an effect. That is called akrit. And therefore, if the joy is causeless, or I want to settle in self where I don't have to do anything, to go anywhere, Jeev is unsettled. Unsettled in I is called Jeev. And then he goes to the teacher. And Gurupsakti is the third topic in this 1.2. First Mundaka, second. Gurupsakti means to know this, tad vijnanartham sa guru meva vigachet. He goes to Guru alone, taking the twigs, samit pani shrotriyam. And it is the duty of the Guru also, that such a student who has come, he tells that knowledge without any reservation. So there are 3 topics in the 1.2 and 3 topics in 1.1 as well. Now comes the second Mundak, and second Mundak 2.1 is a very important mantra. The configuration of fire is there and that is mentioned. Let me tell you, the second Mundak is mentioned, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmeti Napara. ध्यान देंगे सुनना. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. This is the topic of the second Mundak. In nutshell, I am talking. Will you please explain? No explanation has been done sufficiently. 58 classes you have heard. You can refer to your notes and you can see if anybody is interested. If you are not interested, no problem. So the example of the conflagration of fire and the spark was mentioned. So the same consciousness with the conditioning of the Antakaran is called the Jeev. Divya Yamurta Purusha Sabhaya Abhyantaro Yaja, that Purush is divine. But the main emphasis in 2.1 is that whole world is the superimposition on the self. Therefore, in this section, this is most important, this second Mundak. Of all three Mundak, second Mundak is more important. Tasmat, Tasmat, Hey Tasmat, Tasmat has been come at least 4 or 5 times. Ataha, from that, Hey Tasmat Jayate Pranamanan Sarvendriyani Cha. Whole world does not come from black hole or Big Bang or what is it called. It has been going on. Whole world has come from consciousness. Why? Because it is said in the scriptures. And second thing is because it is an effect, it has to have a cause. And if it is a cause, cause should not be having any shape, and therefore if cause does not have a shape, the cause will be one with the consciousness. And consciousness without modifying tree, plant, or mountain all have come. This is the one point. Second point, this Upanishad, this part says, but this self is known in the mind only. Last mantra says, Etad yo ved nihitam guhayam so avidya granthi vikiritiya somya. This knowledge will be known in the intellect, like all other knowledges. These two things are mentioned. Two other 3 points. First, upadhi, all the subtle bodies are the upadhis, and one is appearing as many. One OC is appearing as many RCs. Like in the dream, one dream seer is expressing as thousands of men because of many minds of the dream. Similarly, here also, there is one consciousness is appearing as many. Is therefore saints sometimes talk, you don't talk, but saints, hami to tum hai, I am you only, hamare to naam ye hai. I was sitting with one saint, he said, hamare naam to Swami Abhedananda. They can talk, you don't talk. Because they may revel in that area. For us, it's a hypocrisy of Vedanta. So they revel, they can talk like in that language, they have the freedom. And when you start reveling 24 hours, then you also can talk. But we talk to show to others, that should not be there. Vedanta is not a show business. It's very deep knowledge, which matures in quietness and silence. This is the second Mundak, I hope 3 points. One is the Upahit, Jeev is Upahit Chaitan. Second is whole world is coming from the self without changing, therefore world is Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya is the main topic. And third, this is known in the mind. This is the 2.1. 2.2, Jivo Brahmeti Napara. Jeev is Brahma, this is mentioned in second section of second Mundak. 2.2. And here, what is mentioned here is 2.2. This is more important than 2.1. In other words, this is the most important section of whole Mundak. There is a core. Why you are saying core? I am saying core because it is telling how to realize that. It is, you negate everything what cannot be negated, that is called self. I can negate body, I can negate mind, I can negate But what the negator cannot be negated. And therefore that should be known. And this mantra, this section tells about that imagery of bow and arrow. If you remember, Dhanurgihitva Upanishadam Mahastram. So through this Upanishadic bow, you shoot an arrow. Not physically arrow. It is arrow in recognition that I am not Jeev, I am the complete self. Chetasa. So there you shoot an arrow of knowledge in the ignorance and ultimately know that I am not limited. This was said here. Mainly negate and realize. This is the point here. In the 2.1, it was said whole world is Brahman. So Jagat, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Here, Jivo Brahmeti Napara. When it is said Jeev is Brahman, that means the limitation in the Jeev of name and form, when you negate what means is Brahman. Brahman means where the bigness is without time and space. Bigness is without any time and space. It's not an adjective, it is big. And here only, na tatra suryo bhati, na chandratarakam, the very famous mantra has been mentioned. That same illuminates all. And Brahma ev idam amritam Brahma purastat. He said Brahma is in front of you, Brahma is at back, Brahma is in behind you, everywhere Brahma is there. So this is this 2.2. I hope this point is clear. Jeev Brahma, that is the main that is the main point. And then negation is there and the examples are there. 8th, 10th and 11th. These are the three important mantras of this. 8, 10th and 11. Now comes the third Mundak. Well, you are going so fast. Of course, I told you. What can I do? So in the third Mundak, now the shift is on sadhana more. Sadhana and sadhan phal is the shift now. This is in the third Mundak. It is started with two birds. One was the Paramatma, other was the Jivatma, if you remember. One was hopping from branch to branch, taking the fruit of I am sad, and other was not hopping, it is all the time only watching. Then, most important value was mentioned as Satyam. Satyam. Satyin, Satyamev Jayate Nanritam, the famous mantra, I had explained that. And I had said that what the scriptures, what saints, what Guru, what satsang says, the ability to really live that value, where I don't have to pretend to be good to get love from others, to get respect from others. I am the manifestation of the scriptural words. The one line of scripture, rhythm and my mind and my behavior. There is no breaking in between. There is no crookedness in between. I understand something, but I live something. I don't have that guts in me because of my vasanas or ahankar. I don't have that Gurudev's language, heroism in me. Therefore, I feel Satyam is a heroism more. It's more an extraordinary. A person has will and more. He has conquered his vasana. Vasanized person will always have false living on false speaking because his vasana won't allow to translate into action. So if Sat is not there, whole value system will collapse. Kshama, Daya, Seva, everything is based on this one value. You don't know he is doing Seva really or he is doing Seva falsely to get something. In seva he is doing just to compete with others, or really he wants to give joy? Everywhere intentions will not be purest. In seva he is a competitor, or he is a giver of sacrifice or sacrificer. Or he is doing charity he is really doing it, or really he is wanting his name, therefore he is doing charity. Are you getting my point? And therefore not mentioning other values like Bhagwan Krishna of 20 values of Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. Only one value this Upanishad has mentioned, and it is Arthavad, because it has to be praised. ठीक है ना? हाँ, if this is gone, everything a person loses his feet everywhere. A student may not be very brilliant. I am telling you, please get my point. He may not be very good speaker. He may not be very good writer. He may not be very good orator. He may not have a good looks. He may be very ordinary. He may not be something who does lot of work. But if one thing is there, if you can say, no, what he says or does, I have no doubt about his living and his character, on his words, he's true to his words. In long run, such people alone win the race. So never try to become an orator. Never try to become someone extraordinary. Never try to become ahead of others. That he is there. These things are just for a short time. It has a glitter like this, the crackers, they have for few seconds they just glitter and firework. Everything is ashes. You have an element only when you have a character. You can tell what I am doing. You can tell what I have not done. You always walk tall. Speak right thing. Why? Because I have not done wrong. You can check everything in me. I have not done wrong. You can ask every day what I have done whole day. I can tell you. My book, my life is an open book. You can see. Even if you are not a very brilliant student of Vedanta, even if you are not a very good speaker, I'll tell you, you will have much more value than anybody else. At least be truth to what you are doing. So this is that point. Second thing what is mentioned in 3.1, this is 3.1 going on, that this self is known by subtle intellect. So, jnana prasadena vishuddha sattva tatastu tam pashyate nishkalam jayamana. Jnana prasadena. So, two words and one words when he jushtam sevate, when he contemplates on the self, that is one point. Second point is satya as the pradhan sadhan, and third is subtle intellect. Eshonuratma chetasa veditavya. This has been mentioned in that. So in this particular section, the mantra number 1 and 1, 5 and 8. These three mantras are important. Now comes 3.2. As I said, this 3 is only mainly for Gyan and Gyan Phalam. Gyan Sadham, Gyan Sadhan and Gyan Phalam. In the second, the most important sadhan, what was mentioned as, was the Varana. Before that it was mentioned, be very careful about your desires, because your desires will decide your destination. Kamanya. But one who has no desire, he dissolves his subtle body here only. And then, Nayamatma pravachane labhya na medhaya na bhavna shrutena. This self is known only one who has no priority. Other prioritization of my life. Time management to do. This is my first thing. I told you, if you remember that, if you have to go to the hospital, and somebody has come to meet you at that time, and doctor has given you appointment, and you couldn't have breakfast at that time also, and you don't get your shoes also. So instead of searching the shoes, Or instead of going to having nice breakfast or talking to the person, just go to the hospital. That is the priority. Our priority is not relations, not work, not our priority is my mind should be knowing the self. Purity of mind and illumination of intellect. This is my priority in spiritual life and pleasing the God and Guru. Nothing else. You may be anybody, you may be grahast, you may be brahmachari, doesn't matter, you may be sannyasi, but only three things are there: pleasing the God, making the mind pure, and knowing the self. That is the only thing I want in life. Everything else is secondary, whether you live in solitude, whether you live in crowd, whether you are in jeans or whether you are in ochre robe, all these things will not matter if this is the priority. And if this is not the priority and do everything, so everything will be waste actually. Or very less results will be there. So this is one thing has been said. Second thing has been said about Jivan Mukti and Vidhi Mukti in this section, which we had been seeing. Vedant Vigyan Sunishitartha, this was Jivan Mukti. One where upadhis are there, body, mind, intellect is there, subtle body, causal body, and gross body are there, and RC is there, but they are not seen as real. You know the Chaitanya and you see all as superimposed. And then Videha Mukti was mentioned, in which all these three bodies go back to their samashti component and RC goes back to OC. This was Videha Mukti, ultimately example of river and ocean was given in that. And then last two mantras, the Richa was there, Rigved, and this way we conclude the Mundaka Upanishad with the summary also. So you can go through it and make your life more closer to God, more closer to the Upanishad. So tomorrow onwards, what will you study now? So tomorrow, let me see. So I will have Panchadashi and also maybe few days Panchadashi in a week, few days Brahma Sutra. So both I will take. So tomorrow you come, bring with Panchadashi and Brahma Sutra, both you bring, and we will see. Maybe 3 days Panchadashi, 3 days Brahma Sutra. We'll continue. Okay? And Prashnopanishad we will take in next SUP course, which will follow that. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Hari Om.